Yeah, thoughts on South Dakota State?
Well coached. They know what they want to run. They won a couple ball games and lost at Northern Iowa the other night in a close ball game. So we'll have to play. We'll have to take away the 3-point shot. They got a couple guards that are really scoring. So another game where we're going to have to play a little bit.
What kind of progress have you guys been able to make in practice since the last game? Just on all ends with all the things that you have to
We
do.
worked really hard last couple days. Probably have to back off a little bit today. We went really hard over the weekend just to try to get a little conditioning, a little tempo. We're playing way too slow. We're just nothing sharp, crisp. So we've worked really hard the last couple days, just getting the pace where we want it, and gone really long both days. So like I said, we'll have to back off a little today and hopefully be ready tomorrow night.
Dean, what do you do just to kind of shake them out of this little shooting slump that the team kind of seems to be in collectively?
Well, we got to take better shots. That's the first thing. The ball movement's got to get better so we get some better shots. Right now everybody's kind of searching, for, where they fit in offensively and, where their shots are going to come from. But obviously our guard's going to have to shoot it better, with 4 for 27 the other night, so, and we know Jackson can, we've seen TK shoot it better, and Wade's just trying to find his way right now. But he'll come along. He shoots it really good in practice. He just putting so much pressure on himself during games that it hasn't gone well for him. But no, I think we'll find a rhythm. We know the guys can shoot it better than what we've been showing. So just got to keep working at it. And like I said, try to find the pace and try to get some better shots in transition. I think there's a lot of ways we can get better shots.
Do you think having Jackson back takes some of that pressure off?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You saw our turnovers cut down, and not that we got into stuff. As I said before, the 5 weeks off, I think hurt our team more than it hurt Jackson, just because we didn't have a flow and we weren't getting into things. So, I think Jackson will bounce back pretty quick here. His conditioning's pretty good. He got tired the other night, but, it's a lot different going up and down than just going out and running a little bit, when you're changing directions and getting hit, and knees are bent, it wears you out a little quicker than just running.
When the percentages maybe aren't where you want them to be, how important or more important does it become to go to Nate down low and get him the touches?
Well, our inside out percentages are really good. When the ball hits the paint, our percentages are pretty good. When it hits 3 sides, we're pretty good. We're just really impatient, take way too many shots without getting it in and getting the defense to collapse a little bit. So, you'd like to say some of that's just, guys trying to find their way in inexperience, but they got to have better basketball savvy than that. We got to get better shots, and a little patience will help us in that regard. But also, we got to get some more in transition. We're just not getting the ball up floor quick enough at all.
Do you have any update on Pryor?
He didn't practice at all 2 days ago, and yesterday just did some half-court stuff. So I don't know if he'll be ready or not.
How does having Jackson out there kind of improve your guys' ability to hit those 2 sides rather than just keep it on one side for possession?
Well, again, he knows our offense. He's a very good offensive player. Against pressure, the turnovers went way down to 12. So, no, he just gives us experience. He gives us a guard that has a good feel for things offensively. So, he's a big part of our team. That's obvious. He and Nate are the 2 guys that have the most experience coming back from a year ago. So, that's, and then KJ's got a lot of experience also with us. Sean's got a lot of experience, at this level. So you got to really depend on those guys here early to try to get some things smoothed out.
Where do you think What do you like with Sean's activity off the bench and his versatility for you?
Oh, absolutely. No, his effort, practice, games, he plays hard. He's starting to get a feel for, what we want him to do. And no, I couldn't be any more pleased with him. He's graded out as high or higher than anybody in our scrimmages and our games.
What's been keeping Jamari out so far?
Jamari is on a NCAA 3-game suspension for selling shoes. And so I wasn't going to bring it up unless you asked, but you asked. So he got suspended 3 games for selling his shoes.
That's still a thing they care about?
I guess. Yes.
Maturity-wise, what have you seen from KJ this season?
Well, I think he's trying to make more plays. He's getting some hands on some balls. There's still a lot more to his game. He's got to run that floor harder. I think he can do a better job on the boards, but he's got a feel for what we want to do, and we need him to be more physical and continue to get better on the boards and on the defensive end.
Where do you see TK kind of fitting into this offense as it progresses?
That's a good question. I don't know. There's, Way's got to fit in better. We know Jackson's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Dev and Dez, we can go bigger at the wings. TK, we know he can shoot it. I think his defense continues to improve. I think he's got to get a little more physical, with things he does offensively and defensively. But, he's a big part. Hopefully he'll start shooting it a little bit. Again, his shot's a good shot. He shoots it well in practice. Just we need that to translate and carry over to the games.
That was a small sample size, but Nate's ability to protect the rim with the 5 blocks a game and just maybe your overall team averaging almost 9 a game. Just what do you think of your activity there?
Well, we're big inside with Nate, and Ezekiel, is going to have to play more for us, and he will. KJ's got good size. Sean's bouncy, so we should protect the rim pretty good. Again, our activity defensively has been pretty good. It's our discipline of where guys are off, our rules, off and to the ball, when to help and recover and when not to. We're just making too many mistakes. But I like the effort. I think our effort's been good defensively. We just making fundamental mistakes that are giving up some easy baskets.
So at this point, Jackson back roughly a week or so. You talk about a 5-week setback, so you feel like you're like in week 2 of where you could have been or should have been?
We're way behind because of a lot of factors, us getting started late and everything. But with Jackson out, we basically did that the first day of formal practice. And so we are behind where we should be at this time. But I wouldn't know if it's second or third week, but we are behind. There's no doubt about that.